Hi everyone, my name is Jackie and welcome to my channel, Books, Board Games, and Ball Gowns. Today I am here with Christy from Paradise Lost in Books. I will link to her channel down below. And basically we decided to come up with an original tag. Do you want to tell them about it?
Yes, the Walt Disney World book tag. We met on the Disney College program in 2012. She was my in-room roommate. Like, we shared the same room, and it was the best experience ever. I thought I was gonna hate sharing a bedroom, but yeah, but she ended up being one of my very best friends. I was maid of honor at her wedding, and Disney really brought us together. Like, so we wanted to celebrate our love of Disney with an original book tag.
So, without further ado, let's get started. So, our first one is Magic Kingdom, a book that takes place in a magical world.
Harry Potter.
We had to. It's in like every single one of our book tags.
Every single one. What else could we possibly go with? This doesn't even need explanation.
Yeah, and how wonderfully ironic is it that in the Walt Disney World book tag we included Harry Potter. So,
Exactly.
yay, wonderful irony.
Next question is EPCOT, a book set in the future. I went with Cinder by Marissa Meyer, part of the Lunar Chronicles, really the whole Lunar Chronicles. It's all set in the future, but Cinder's the first book. It's very futuristic, very sci-fi.
And for me, I went with The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, which of course is dystopian future, and again, the whole series, really. And you'll notice that a lot of the books that Christy has selected will be in like nice little pictures like here or something, because we're at my house, so a lot of the books that she has picked aren't here because they're back in Georgia. So
Yeah.
You'll have to deal with the nice little pictures. Next one is Hollywood Studios, a book set in the 1930s or 40s. For me, I went with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis, which of course takes place around World War II era. So there you go.
And I went with To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I actually teach this book, and I'm honestly getting a little bit sick of it, but but it's set in the 1930s, and it's pretty much perfect. I mean, I do a whole background on the 1930s when I teach this book, so. Alright, question number 4 is Animal Kingdom. Pick a book with an animal as the main character. And for this, I went with Life of Pi. It's a boy and a tiger on a boat. You've got like 2 characters for 90% of the book, and one of them's a tiger, so I feel like it works.
And I went with Eragon by Christopher Paolini, and a dragon.
Dragons are animals.
Yeah, it counts. It may be a mythic animal, but it's an animal nonetheless, so there you go.
And fun fact, they were going to include dragons in Animal Kingdom when they were creating it. They were going to have a whole mythical beasts area, so it definitely counts for the Animal Kingdom question.
Exactly. Nice little Easter egg there for you. Now we're moving into the attractions across Walt Disney World. This one is Expedition Everest, a book that takes place where the characters go on a dangerous journey. I went with The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. I think this is very self-explanatory.
Pretty much like the penultimate dangerous journey.
Yeah, exactly. Poor Frodo and Sam.
Exactly. I went with The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. I didn't particularly love this book, but her whole journey, Kelsey, the main character, going back to her kingdom is very under the radar, very low-key, because if anyone finds out that she's traveling back home, she could be killed, so it's very dangerous, and, you know, it's a dangerous expedition.
Right.
The next question is Dinosaur. Pick a book with an exciting time-traveling story. And for this one, I went with The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Niffenegger. This book is pretty much all about time travel. The husband, the main love interest, travels through time randomly, and we get his perspective. So there's definitely a time-traveling aspect.
And I went with Outlander by Diana Gabaldon, which, confession, I actually haven't read this yet. It's on my list, but yeah, the main character time travels. I know that much. I promise I will get to this soon. The next one is The Tower of Terror, a book with a lot of ups and downs. I went with Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins, and, you know, there's just a lot of ups and downs with the 2 main characters and their relationship, potential relationship, etc. So I went with this one.
And I went with the Fifth Wave series by Rick Yancey. This whole series was a up and down roller coaster for me. I mean, I never really knew what was going on. Sometimes I was really emotionally invested, sometimes I was just really irritated, and I couldn't really figure the plot out. So I felt like my emotions and interest were just all over the place with this series. The next question is Rockin' Roller Coaster. Name a book that you read extremely fast. And for this, I went with The Giver by Lois Lowry. Maybe that's cheating because it's kind of a short book, but I literally read it in about an hour and a half, 2 hours, so I got through it really fast.
It counts. And I'm also kind of cheating because I went with A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, which is, the book's only about 200 pages. I got through it in about 2 hours. But yeah, I picked this up and I couldn't put it down. So yeah, I definitely read it fast. The next one is Mission Space, a book that made you want to vomit. I went with The Call by Pater O'Gillen because just a lot of the descriptors of what happens to some of the characters after they've been called is just, it's nightmare fuel and just, oh.
Very grotesque.
Yeah.
And I went with Battle Royale by Koshin Takami. This book has a lot of graphic violence, like very brutal things done by teenagers to each other. I didn't really literally want to vomit, but it's definitely kind of stomach churning, some of the things that they do to each other. Next question is Spaceship Earth. Pick a historical fiction. And I went with Cain and Abel by Jeffrey Archer. This is one of my favorite historical fictions of all time. It follows two different men whose lives intersect, and it goes through a lot of different historical events, and it's just a really fun read.
And I went with The Once and Future King by T.H. White. It is a book all about Arthur and his knights and his entire history. And I read this in high school and I absolutely loved it. It's a pretty good sized book. It's like over 600 pages and the text is little itty bitty. So it took a long while to read, but I absolutely loved this. The next one is Soarin, a book that takes you to several destinations. I went with A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I actually just read this and I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to read the next few. But in this book there are 3 different Londons. There's Red London, Grey London, Black London, White London. So there are a few different Londons, which even though they're all called London, they're all very different places. Like, the only thing that they really have in common is the name. So it's a really cool book and I enjoyed it quite a lot. So.
And I went with The Kane Chronicles by Rick Riordan. This was kind of the first mythological series he did about Egyptian gods and goddesses. People don't know it as much as Percy Jackson, but it's actually really good. And Sadie and Carter go all over the world, like England, America, Russia, like so many different places. And that was one of my favorite things about the book, was how many different places they went over the trilogy. Alright, the next question is Haunted Mansion. Pick a book with a spooky atmosphere. And I went with Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. This book wasn't really scary, but it definitely kind of had an eerie atmosphere, especially when he doesn't really know what's going on with the Peculiars, and the Hologast kills his grandfather at the beginning. It's all very creepy, so I think it works. Exactly.
And I went with Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice. Vampires. I think that's self-explanatory, so there you go. The next question is Space Mountain, a book that takes place in outer space. I went with The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. The entire thing takes place in outer space and other planets, so yeah, there you go.
Kind of the same thing with my pick, which was Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Literally, the entire thing is in outer space, Mars, the moon, in between the planets. I mean, so, outer space.
There you go.
The next question is, It's a Small World. Pick a book that's kind of irritating, but has some sentimental value. And for this, we went with Twilight. I think it has maybe more sentimental value for me than Jackie, because I actually read the books in high school and they were a gift to me from a friend who was not in my life for a while, so they definitely have some sentimental value, but I think we both find the books kind of problematic in some ways.
Yeah. And like, personally, I'm sorry if you consider this blasphemous, but I frankly enjoyed the movies a little bit more than the books. I don't even actually own the books, I had borrowed them from people, but like, everyone that I knew was just obsessed with Twilight. Like, I went to midnight premieres of the movies and everything. And
Yeah.
so, definitely some sentimentality there from just the whole big thing that it was.
Right.
The next one is Pirates of the Caribbean, a book that is more popular because of the movie. For this one, I went with The Princess Bride by William Goldman. I definitely think that more people know the movie than the book. I think a lot of people probably don't even realize that it is a book, but it is. And I highly recommend that you read it if you enjoyed the movie, because, yeah, it's wonderful, and you get some more background on characters like Fezzik and stuff like that. So, there you go.
Kind of the same thing with my pick, which was Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. I can't with these ridiculous last names. But I don't think a lot of people realize that Fight Club was a book first. I've heard a lot of people that have picked up the book think the movie is better. I think most people who do pick up the book only pick it up because of the movie. The last question is Cinderella Castle. Pick a book with a happy ending. And for this one, I went with The Crown by Kiera Cass. I think that Evelyn's portion of the story from the selection definitely has a happier, more wrapped up type ending than America's part of the selection. But yeah, Evelyn basically gets everything she wants and they all live happily ever after.
And I went with Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. It's a classic. It gives me all the warm, fuzzy feelings. Who doesn't love Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy?
Exactly.
They're wonderful. So, there we go. Oh, I think that about wraps it up. If you enjoyed this tag, please feel free to do it. Consider literally everyone you are tagged. You too. Yeah, you do the thing.
All of
do
it.
the thing. All of it. We will list the questions down below. If you are interested, you should also check out over on Christy's channel. We have done a Wizarding World of Harry Potter tag, original tag as well. So please go check that out. So, and now we're gonna go to Disney World. So yeah.
Like right now, we're going to Magic Kingdom right now.
Yeah, like give it 5 minutes, we'll be in the car.
Pretty much.
So, dinner at Ohana tonight. Oh
Yes, bread pudding.
Yes. So much
religious
yes.
experience.
I think that about wraps it up. Oh god, my brain.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, words. Words are hard.
Words are hard.
See, now I'm thinking about bread pudding, and I can't articulate words. Yeah, so I think that about wraps it up. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of you so much, and I will see you soon. Bye!
Bye!